So here you are,
Yes, sir.
Hall of Honor member. How does that feel?
Man, I told some of my friends last night, this is my Super Bowl. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Man, I'm so happy, man. I always tell people, I said, well, man, look, you know, I know we didn't win no Super Bowls. I said, but we was trying like heck. And this is where I end up, man. I mean, I gave it my best, and you know, and I got rewarded for it. And I'm so thankful.
I can see the emotions are real.
Yeah.
It is your Super Bowl.
Yes.
It's. I've always looked at the Hall of Honor as, for those who didn't get to the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, it's the next best thing. I mean, it's very difficult to get to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But if you're a Hall of Fame Pittsburgh Steeler, that says a lot, considering how many great players have come through here.
I know, man. This is ginormous. I mean, it's a great feeling.
Ginormous is a Craig Wolfley word. You stole that from him. You know that.
Well, don't tell him I did.
No, the first time I heard it was Craig Wolfley saying that.
That's
Ginormous.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the beginning, though. You were drafted, first round pick, I think 23rd overall. Tell us about when you got the call, when you found out you were going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, man, I mean, in my college career, Bob, I had 92 total catches. And I'm like, what the heck do these people see in me? And I get drafted in the first round. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, and my little hometown, man, they just imploded. And I was so thankful, man. I'm like, the first thing was on my mind was that I didn't really care where I went. All I wanted to do was be drafted and get a chance. And then once I got that chance, then I was gonna make it worth the while. And that's what I did, man. The first thing on my mind was, man, I cannot get cut.
But you're a first round pick.
Bob, I'm from a little town in Louisiana, Reserve, Louisiana. I mean, everybody know everybody. So, first round just meant that you got picked early. That don't mean that you automatically on the team. And that was the first thing on my mind. I said, man, I can't get cut if I go back home. Man, my boys are just gonna rip me apart, man. You know. And after I came up here, we were in Latrobe practicing. And so the wideouts, you know, we always sit on our helmets, take breaks, right? Well, Stahl and Calvin Sweeney was there. And then Calvin says, hey man, come on, Lou, take a break. I said, take a break? Man, I gotta make this team. He said, Lou, he said, man, you got drafted in the first round. You already on the team. I said, man, ain't nobody told me that yet. And so that was my attitude my whole first year there.
But that's the proper attitude to have. It's like a lot of these guys who are undrafted today, they find that
right
level of motivation that maybe first rounders don't have. But you had it even though you were a first round pick.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Because why? Because you were insecure about 92 catches, but you were more than that. You were special teams.
Well,
you were a guy who can do things that nobody else could have done.
Yeah, because I think I was ranked third in the nation at that time for punt returns. And so I think that had a big thing to do with it. And then that time, that was Chuck's little baby, the special teams. So I think that had a big part of it, of why they drafted me so high.
Did you feel responsibility to give them what they wanted in the special teams? Even though, you know, today it's different. First round picks, you don't see many of them going back taking punts.
Right.
Or running back kickoffs. Here you are, a first round pick, and you're willing to do just about anything, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I mean, I wanted to play. I wanted to play, and however or whatever it took for me to get on that field to do it. I mean, I was on the kickoff team. I was on the punt return team. I was on the kick return team, punt coverage team, all of them, hands team. I was on everything. And I just wanted to play. I said, I'm here, so I want to play. And then these games are on TV. You know, and in college, we didn't get that kind of chance at Southern Miss. We didn't get very many televised games. We wasn't at Alabama or Auburn or Florida State that was on TV every Saturday. And so in most places, you know, you got a very good possibility of being on TV every Sunday. And that was motivation, man, motivation. And then at the same time, you know, there was guys like, you know, I played with Lambert. I played with Larry Brown, John Stallworth, Donnie Shaw. These guys was showing you, because all of them already had 4. They already had 4. And they showing you, hey man, look, if you want one, look, here's what you got to do.
Those guys you talked about, most of them are defense. Who was the guy on offense who took you under his wing? Was it a Stallworth?
82, no doubt.
Was
82.
it Stallworth?
Yeah. And Bob, the more I think about it, Stall's 10 years in the league already, and here I am in my first year, and we are roommates. How does that happen? Or why did that happen? You know, I mean, even at training camp, we were roommates in training camp. He might be on the phone talking to his wife or whatever, and I'm in the bed and I'm looking at my plays and I'm like, you know, I'm trying to like memorize this stuff, right? Stahl goes, nah. He said, just remember what you got to do. Don't try to memorize the play. Just learn your routes, and everything else is gonna fall into place.
Did you find that unusual as someone with all that experience, all those rings, and yet he was more than happy to help you as a young person? Because a lot of those guys may not want to do that.
And even guys who, I'm trying to get your job, man. What you helping me for? I mean, that's the way it was. That's the way it was, and that's the way it happened. And then no ill feelings if, you know, he got yanked or I got yanked and somebody else got put in the play and you had to sit out a few plays or whatever. No ill feelings, man. All we want to do is win. That's all we wanted to do.
You were a person that could help him too. And I say that because you had the deep game.
Yes.
That made things possible for him, I would imagine. And I looked at the numbers coming into this, and I saw that his numbers in your rookie season were maybe as good as that he had in his career. Do you think your presence there helped him, your speed, your ability to stretch the field, which created more opportunities for guys like him at an older stage?
I think it did because, I mean, he was so much more experienced than I was, and he knew how to maneuver, like read coverages and get open better than I did. And so I was a big distraction. And then he was our go-to guy, man. He was our go-to guy. Third down, Stahl's getting it. You know, unless something else happens. You know, he getting it. Because that's just how good he was. Man, we used to watch practice after practice. We watch it as a receiving group. And then a lot of times it would be me, Calvin, Donnie, Stahl, and sometimes Benny. God bless his soul. We would watch practice after the group was done, and then we would all grab the film from Mac and go watch the film again. And we just go back and forth, back and forth. Hey, look, Donnie said, see that? You're false stepping. I got you on that one. You're false stepping. You know, why are you 2 yards outside and run the same route all the time? Why are you 2 yards inside the numbers and run the same route all the time? He said, I see that. And so that helped me line up in the same place, but run a bunch of different routes from that spot. That's the only way I learned that was watching the film with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unusual for guys with that much on their resume.
Yes.
Young kids like that.
Yes.
Tell me about a punt return and how difficult it is to do, and why did it come so easy for you?
Well, first of all,
we don't see success in the NFL anymore.
Well,
it's very
first of all,
difficult to watch anybody get a 10-yard return, much less what you did in your rookie
well,
season.
first of all, I don't know if you knew, I was a better baseball player than a football player.
No, I didn't know that.
I almost got drafted out of high school, but I didn't get drafted out of high school, and I wasn't allowed to get drafted out of high school because my dad was a 7th grade dropout, and he said I was going to college. My sophomore year in high school, I went to the Philadelphia Phillies trial camp. My junior year in high school, I went to Cincinnati Reds tryout camp. I played center field. And so if you played baseball at all, or anybody know anything about baseball, you camping under a fly ball and somebody's on second or first gonna try to make a run for the next base, well, you gotta get rid of it really fast. And you gotta know he's getting ready to tag up on you. And you catching and throwing at the same time. So when I would be camped under the ball, then I want to see who coming down here to hit me. So that was a natural thing for me to do, to look and see where they are, if I'm gonna do this or if I'm not gonna do that.
So baseball helped you become a good punt returner.
Absolutely.
I never would have thought that.
Absolutely.
What else?
Absolutely.
I mean, well, first of all, let me go back to baseball. Were you serious about baseball? I mean, if it was your choice,
man.
Would you have gone baseball instead of football?
If it would have happened that way, I probably would have. Yes.
If your father had never told you, you're going to get an education, you're going to get a college degree, we're going to send you to college, you would have gone baseball?
Absolutely.
Do you think you were better at baseball than
Yes,
football?
absolutely.
That's saying a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, looking back, it's probably a good thing that you ended up in the National Football League with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm not mad at what happened. I'm so happy and fortunate. I'm glad I made the decision I made.
And so are the Steelers, by the way.
Yeah.
So how did you come on so quickly, though? Right off the bat, Rookie of the Year, you set a record for touchdown receptions. For someone who was not worried about making a team, I don't think you had to worry about that after that first year.
The will to play and want to be good. That's all I can say. I mean, I wasn't cocky. I didn't talk a lot of trash. I didn't say nothing to a whole lot of people. I never jaw jab like some of these guys jaw jab, you know.
I find that strange because you do it on the golf course these days. Where did that come from? It's like,
a little intimidation.
Oh, okay. So psychological?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, man, I mean, that's all it was, man. I mean, just a will to want to be accepted. That was the only way I knew how to do it. That was the only way I was gonna get my due respect, is letting them know, like, hey, look, I belong here.
How much of your motivation came from wanting to win, impressing your friends in New Orleans who said they'd give you a bunch of crap if you didn't make the roster, or money?
Money, I ain't never had money, so money wasn't really in it. Not that I wasn't happy that I got what I got. I think it's probably be like the biggest thing is like just not embarrassing yourself.
One final thing I want to ask you, and that's just because your relationship with the fans. In this town, before there was Heath, who wore number 83, you were the guy who got the people saying, Lou.
Yes.
What did that mean to you? And talk about your relationship with those fans, because they seem to really embrace you very quickly, and you probably still get that today.
Well, it just so happened like when they started that, I was facing the big screen in Three Rivers. So I saw the L with all the O's. Because when it first sounded, it sounded like you booing. I'm like, oh, I ain't doing nothing yet. I haven't even done nothing yet. And then I looked up and I'm like, oh, they're looing. So now I'm back there, especially when I go back to catch a punt. I'm like, well, now I got to make something happen. So this was not on my agenda. I said, I'm running it back at all costs.
No one would ever boo. It's always Lou for you.
Man. Yep.
Congratulations
Awesome.
on being in the Hall of Honor.
Thank you.